Okay, so नींद उड़ गई क्या सबकी चाय के चुस्के पर? जोर से बोलो यार, come on please. Okay, okay. Wait, so I'm Ruturaj. Thoda, my intro was very weird, but anyways. So yeah, today I'm going to present regarding mBAJA Powertrain. Okay, and are there any hBAJA teams over here? Anyone who's okay? You're from hBAJA. Okay, okay. Yes. Okay, so let's start. So this is the mBAJA powertrain system, right? So in this you can see CVT, the drive shafts, the driver joints, the rear gearbox, right? So this is the rear wheel drive system. So similarly for the four wheel drive system, you will have the same similar components in the front as well. So like the front differential, the drive shafts, CV joints, both at the output of the differential as well as the at the wheel input, right? And beside that, you'll also have the propeller shaft system. Right? Okay, so so which engine do we use for mBAJA? Okay. Yeah, so I think so. Everybody is aware of that. So, like, I'm not going to bore you guys with this specs, right? Everyone is aware of this? Yeah. So, can everyone tell me what is the rated torque and power of the engine? Anyone? Can you stand up here? Who was that? अरे खड़ा हो कौन था? Yeah. 10. Okay, and the torque? 14.5. Here, एक बार तो read see the torque curves. Anyways, so the max torque is 18.6 Newton meters. So you might be seeing pounds per feet. So just check if the units you're following is correct and according to the metric standard. So the max torque occurs at 2600 RPM. Okay, and besides that, the max power, that is 10 HP, occurs at 3800 RPM. So is this the values that you are actually getting from the engine?
No, sir.
Why not? Governor, okay. Losses, okay. Okay. So any guesses on what the actual values might be? Yeah. Okay. On what basis are you saying that claim? Basically, you're claiming that. Okay, but there are various types of systems involved, right? So, for example, you know what are the typical losses for gear transmission, what is for belt-driven transmission, right? So, over here, how are you kind of finding out? Because there are various contacts, right?
So the power figures were provided by the supplier of the engine with the graphs. So to calculate the mechanical losses, calculate the contact areas of the gears.
No, so that's what I'm saying. I'm talking only of the engine, not the entire powertrain system.
That is the indicated horsepower. We'll get the brake horsepower. Brake horsepower is the actual figure we'll get.
Yeah, so you have any value based on what, which reference, or have you, because you can just calculate it, right? It will be very theoretical, right? So do you want to base everything on that just simple calculation of 10-15% loss?
The indicating horsepower is rated as the sum of brake horsepower and the frictional horsepower.
Yeah.
So we'll calculate the brake horsepower. We'll calculate the brake horsepower with the help of a dynamometer.
So that's the answer I wanted. So you need some kind of an experiment or some kind of reference from where you're getting this value, right? Yes. Okay. So this is clear, right? So you can't actually theoretically predict the exact values that the engine is going to provide. Yes? Okay. So besides this, I think everyone is aware of this. So this is an OHV engine, right? Single cylinder, 305 cc. Right? Okay. So moving on. So like as I stated before, so this is the power curve, and this is the torque curve. So you have this easily available on the photos. Not nikala hai. This is easily available on Google. Just Google it. Okay. Yeah. So coming on to engine testing. Okay. So this is the point that I was mentioning. So you need some kind of a reference, right, for what kind of power or what kind of torque the engine is giving. So for this, you will need a dyno testing, right? So you need to do a testing on the dynamometer, or like there are various other ways also you can do it. Basically, you can also take reference from or benchmark any of the top teams who have released some research papers or some kind of white papers in regards to this, right? So if you search on Google, you'll easily find some research papers that RIT, MIT from US have published, in which they have mentioned the actual figures that they got. Okay, so this is one such figure that I have taken. So this is a figure from MIT. So everyone is aware of MIT, not the Indian MIT. Please. MIT Pune, please go out. Okay, I'm talking of MIT from US, Michigan State University. Okay, Ann Arbor. Okay, so it's one of the best teams in the world, hands down. Everybody agrees. Okay, so it's the torque of that they use basically during the design phase. So why is this exactly important? Any answers in regards to it? So my idea is pretty clear. I want you guys to answer. Okay, I want to save my work. I'm pretty lazy. And we want to like quickly wrap this up. Okay, so that there won't be any more naps as such. Okay, like evening naps if you say. Okay, आपको भी मैच देखना है ना जल्दी. चलो. Yes, Virat Kohli will batting करने को आएगा. So yeah, let's see. So yes, why is this important? Actual values of the torque and these figures of the engine. Any answers? Okay. More? Anyone else?
पर अल्टीमेट पावर दे रही है कि अपनी कार एंड अपन की दे रही है कितने आरपीएम पे चल रही है कि अपन उसको मिल रहा है.
Okay. So I will term it as like final gear ratios or something like that, right? What you will get at the end of your powertrain system is totally driven based on your engine. Okay. So for example, if you consider the engine is given 10 HP, okay, and based on that you calculate the speed. Okay, so for example, your speed is 50 kmph, top speed, but in actual testing you see that it is just 35. This happens. Yes. Even if you do, even if you take into consideration the losses, then also it might happen. Okay, because this consideration is very much theoretical. So you need such kind of data based on which you can calculate your gear ratios, especially, and based on that you will calculate your end targets, right? So the powertrain design specifications like top speed, acceleration, and all this stuff. Okay, so this is clear. Yeah. So when you do engine testing, so there are more things like fuel consumption also. Okay. So is anyone aware of what type of curves are called? Fuel consumption के curves को क्या बोलते हैं? So just one, I'd like to clarify one thing. Everyone is fluent with English as well as Hindi, right? Everyone understands that. Okay. Yes. So fuel curves or flow diagrams. What does anyone know a technical word for it? Basically, what the diagrams called? Anyone? By the way, the people are going to answer more are going to get some goodies. Okay, if that's not told earlier. So now, anyone? Google भी कर सकते हो. Okay, so these are mostly called as like BSFC curves. Okay, so in this you will get the fuel consumption. So over here I have attached a fuel flow diagram. Okay, so in which the like flow rate of for the engine is given across the RPM spectrum. Okay, so you can see it across starting from 1900 RPM to 3800 RPM. Okay, so any guesses on how this can be done? Can this be done theoretically? Yes, this can be done theoretically, but will it be accurate? It can be also done theoretically, but you need that much accurate data, like inputs which you take should be accurate. Okay, so this is also taken from Michigan. Okay, so Michigan had done this analysis in which what they did was they basically calculated the fuel flow based on the mass airflow rate. So what is the airflow rate?
Air flowing per time.
Yeah,
Air
that is fine, but airflow किसका है मतलब अंदर जो air आ रही है, right? Based on that, the consumption is happening, right? So what they basically did was that they in the intake manifold they had a airflow sensor. Based on that, they got the CFM, like cubic feet per minute of airflow that is coming inside the engine. Okay, so this CFM is passing through the air filters and all these filters, and after that it is coming and it is being detected by the airflow sensor. Okay, based on that they calculated the fuel flow. Okay, so before the session ends, can anyone tell me on how can you calculate fuel flow from airflow? There's just a factor in between.
combustion ratio.
Yeah, at the end, let everyone have a chance. Okay, so you guys can Google it or whatever you want. Okay, so once you have this stuff, right? So you can guys also can like take a photograph of this, or you can connect at the end of the session. So this is the curve that Michigan had published. So based on this, you can see that the fuel flow is mentioned, right? So it is a like gram per hour. It is mentioned in gram per hour. So in this, all the values across the spectrum have been mentioned, right? So the and it is done at various RPMs. So using this data, what you can do is the reason why I'm telling this or I'm mentioning this is because powertrain is such a thing because there are various losses, right? So you need some kind of a sophisticated tool where you can model everything, right? So what you can do is, so everyone, what are the various issues? Anyone from old teams over here? Returning teams? Okay, so any issues that you face during endurance? So I'm asking for mBAJA endurance. Endurance में क्या क्या issues आते हैं?
Breakdown.
ठीक, in terms of powertrain? Powertrain.
Yes sir. Powertrain में कभी कभी बारिश हो जाती है तो अगर पानी ज़्यादा तो
Okay, flood. Yeah, okay. Other than that? Okay. Specific to engine. Any more? Basically. Come on. आप 4 घंटे के रेस में हो? Okay. More? ठीक है. So it is pretty basic. So basically fuel consumption, right?
One more thing. Actually, roll कर रहा था वो तो उधर 14.5 मीटर ही टॉर्क.
Okay, I'll get back to that. Okay, we'll connect at that. Okay, so anyways, yeah. The one of the major issues that the teams face during endurance is basically that it might happen that your fuel runs out. You might need to stop in between, right? So to avoid such kind of scenarios, you need thorough testing, okay, physical testing, so that you know your driver majorly knows what is the range of the vehicle, right? So this can also be done using softwares, right? So over here I've shown how you can do it in IPG car maker. So in IPG car maker right now we have told the team that you can keep it as default, but if once the teams have this fuel flow diagram, basically you need like the rate of fuel consumption, that's gram per seconds. Okay, and once you have that data, you can add that against the RPM. Okay, and based on that, you can plot the fuel flow diagram in IPG car maker, and based on that, IPG can help you guys to predict your vehicle range. Okay, for this you need to do like the simulation on a closed circuit. So in VD, what we have is a single circuit. Everyone is aware of that. Just a single circuit. When the ends are not closed, basically. Okay, so in this you will need a closed track. circular nature ऐसे कुछ तो बोल सकते हो. Just it should resemble some obstacles, and obviously you will be able to find out the vehicle range. Okay. Okay, so moving on to the do's and don'ts regarding mBAJA Powertrain. Okay, so yes, so starting with the throttle governor, right? So why I'm mentioning this, I'll just come to that, but let's first focus on what a governor is. So basically, it operates based on the flywheels, fly balls. So based on your engine speed, the crankshaft revolutions are also going to change, right? The RPM of the crankshaft will also change, based on which the flyballs, the RPM of the flyballs will change, based on which the throttle performance, like the governor performance will change basically, right? So if you're operating your engine under very light load, so like the fuel, the relative small amount of air fuel mixture is going into the combustion chamber. Okay, and so the crankshaft spins very quickly under this light load. So and the engine is working harder. So you need to understand how the governor is also working. Okay, based on which you need to take that consideration during your testing phase. Okay, so in BAJA you have this governor which basically we tell the teams that you should have it installed on the fifth hole. Everyone is aware of this? Yes. So everyone is aware of how to like install or like check if the hole number is 5. Yes. Yeah, if anyone doesn't have, I'm seeing very bored faces right now, so I'll just skip this. So if you have any doubts, like I can share you the manual in regards to this. In this, these are the steps basically, so you can easily replicate these steps and get to see the governor and the phone number that it is installed into. So main reason why we are using the governor is not to exceed 3800 RPMs. Okay, so one thing that might happen is uh, so is this the only criteria that is going to limit the maximum RPM? Anyone? Okay, so anyone aware of what are parameters we can use regarding to change the idling speed? No, just I'm asking how to change the idling speed. What is the idling speed? Just a rough estimate.
1850.
Okay, so if you want to change it, how will you do it?
I will change the governor.
Governor, okay. More?
सर थ्रॉटल वाल का जो इनिशियल ओपनिंग पोजीशन है उसको आगे कर सकते हैं.
So idle screw. So there are various ways basically. So basically the governor का काम यही है कि 1800 से 3800 तक आपको बीच में रखना है. So this is why I have mentioned this. It is in the rule book obviously, and also this will be checked at the event site using a tacho. Okay, a tachometer, right? So you need to ensure that your values are within this range only. Otherwise, like you'll waste your time at the event site basically. Okay, so for this you also need to take into consideration the entire system. ठीक है कि CVT install होने के बाद भी क्या RPM से वो भी एक बार देख लेना. It is you can do it easily using the digital tachometer. Okay, most of you might have this instrument in your college labs. Okay, digital tachometer or analog tachometer that will also work. Okay, so just over here you need to consider the bare crankshaft का RPM देखना. Not with the CVT, the primary installed, the primary clutch installed. Okay? Yeah. So moving on. So one more issue that the team faces basically regarding kill switch, right? So you need to ensure that the kill switch wire, so one is connected to the ground is given to the roll cage, okay, and like the two kill switches should have parallel connection. So one more thing is that a lot of times you might face issues in terms of how you have actually assembled the harness. So you can see the third image, right? Which mentions yes. So like such kind of connections are expected, so that your the kill switch doesn't go loose. Okay, and the whenever the driver presses the kill switch, the engine will get killed. So yeah. After this, coming on to throttle nut. So everyone aware on how to install this? Okay. So is the spec there? So is this kind of a throttle nut available in India? Yeah. How many of you guys have actually faced issues regarding throttle? When the throttle wire gets loose, you need to again tight it, and the performance is always never consistent, basically, right? So for this, you guys need to have such kind of balance. Okay, so these are available on various like US vendors from US vendors. So you can search on them. I can also suggest you some at the end of my talk. So, anyways, or you can also contact local vendors and see if they have or if they can import it. So the benefit of using this is that the connection between the throttle wire and your engine is pretty intact. Okay, so there's no like issues like the throttle wire gets broken. The wires get broken because of too much tightening, and these things don't happen. And it is rated at a torque value. So basically, these things won't happen. Okay. So moving on. So anyone can tell me on what is priming?
एयर बबल्स अगर आ जाते हैं तो नहीं
उसको bleeding बोलते हैं.
डाल के एयर बबल लेयर करना लेयरिंग लेयरिंग
Layering of what?
लेयरिंग
Layering on a surface means what?
मतलब किसी फ्रिक्शन कम करने के लिए एक लेयर हम चढ़ाते हैं ऑयल का.
Okay, spot on, right? What is priming exactly is basically whenever you have a new engine. So everyone has bought at least one motorcycle up till now, right? In their lifetime, whatever age you have. So or in your family, okay? So they always tell that after so and so kilometers you need to change the oil. क्यों बोलते हो? Right. Right. So this is the reason why we do priming. So priming is to basically glaze the internal surface of the piston, sorry, of the cylinder. Okay. So for this, so you can see this cylinder head, right? So in this, you can see the engine wear. Okay, so and this is such a critical component that if you want to, so what will happen basically if this goes wrong? If the internal walls get too much wear, उससे क्या होगा?
कंबशन ही नहीं होगा.
Right. So all sort of like nightmares will happen, and it is important. Like it is very expensive to replace this. Okay. So there's very less support that you'll get in India also in regards to this. But so what happens is basically the distance between the piston rings and the wall increases. Okay. So to avoid such kind of issues, so ये कब होगा basically कि if the team is not handling the engine properly. Okay. So just an example of when this will happen. So इधर कितने teams कितने लोगों ने नया engine लिया है इस बार? Any? Okay, you have cranked it up. अच्छा अभी तक मिला ही नहीं. Okay. Okay. So anyways, so whenever you get it right, first ensure that you do a priming. Okay. So priming is a process in which basically what you do is that you fill in the oil chamber with ideally a break-in oil. Okay. So anyone aware of what a break-in oil is? Okay, so break-in oil is just meant for priming. Okay, so basically it induces more wear initially, and so that the glazing process can happen quickly. Okay, in less number of miles or kilometers of the engine running. Okay, so what will happen exactly is that one thing is that you told is like engine oil ऊपर आ जाएगा, ऐसे कुछ तो हो जाएगा, something like this, and combustion will not happen properly, right? But besides that, one of the major issues that you guys will face is engine performance will change totally. Okay, because the combustion nature is totally changed, right? So you won't get the necessary performance based on which you have designed your system. Okay, so everything will basically go haywire, okay, in terms of your powertrain performance. So the powertrain performance, the engine performance will reduce. So for this, you need to do a break-in, okay, just after you have a new engine. Okay, so engine priming, right? So for this, what you guys can do is, so I have just stated a step-by-step process over here. So this is just like for reference purposes, but it's up to the teams on how they design their priming sequence. Okay, so for example, in step one, you run the engine for 20 minutes and you vary the speeds between 2000 to 3000. Okay, so abhi, you don't want to actually run this in dynamic condition. Dynamic condition means with the wheels on and on the ground. Okay, so you want to run it on a test rig. That's going to be the best case. Or on over here, I have just attached the image where there is no load basically on the engine as such. Okay, so you need to do a kind of a no-load testing. You need to follow the scenarios like of no-load testing to the priming. Okay, so for the initial 20 minutes, you will vary the ideal speeds between 2000 to 3000 RPM. Okay, and so it is very critical to change the RPMs for like camshaft break-in and to ensure the piston rings and moving components are properly broken. Right, so there is proper mate हो रहा है proper क्या assembly का. So to ensure this, you need to first do it for 20 minutes and vary the RPMs. After that, you need to ensure if there are any fuel leaks or any coolant leaks. So coolant leak is not applicable for us, but or any oil leaks. Okay, so once you ensure that everything is properly working, okay, as expected, okay, then you can move on. So and take the like first you need to change the oil. Okay, so you will see that there will be too much of burn, okay, inside this. Okay, so this is because of the wear that has happened. So after this, you can change the engine oil and change the oil, and after that you can go off-roading. Okay, so this is a proper sequence that you need to follow. Okay, so I've seen various teams, they don't do such kind of things. They directly install the engine on the vehicle and they just go haywire. Where they'll like go full throttle and these kind of things. So this is not healthy for the engine, this kind of testing. Okay, yeah. So can anyone tell what this is? Huh? So this is a part of maneuverability.
Power slide,
Okay.
drift, drifting.
Okay. Turning turning radius. Okay, figure of eight. Okay, so you can term it like anything like figure of eight. You can term it as pivots. You can term it as donuts. You can term it as drifts. Anything. Okay, so everyone likes this basically to do. In this video also you are like fascinated. Okay, यार मेरी गाड़ी turn मार रही है. Okay, so that feeling the driver also loves and the team also loves. So basically, you'll go on doing this, doing this, doing this. So, but this is very harmful for the engine. Okay, so this is just an example of what is harmful for the engine and due to which the wear will increase exponentially. Okay, and you need to ensure that you don't do these kind of things in the initial days after having a new engine. Okay, so moving on to oil level. So we said that we need to put in the braking oil, right? But where will you put it? So you have this two oil fill sections where you can fill the oil basically. So these dipsticks, based on which you can also see the level of oil present inside your engine. Okay, so this is very basic. You can get this information on any forum, online forum. So this is pretty clear. इसमें so you need to ensure that the oil level is basically around here. The shorter height dipstick उसमें से at the end of it must see the oil. That is the correct amount of oil level. Okay, because there is no anything as rated. So more or less you'll see that 750 ml of oil will be utilized up and above 750 ml. Okay, so you need to ensure that you have proper oils, proper basically 750 ml के ऊपर ही ऑयल डालना है, ठीक है, उधर कंट्री से नहीं करना है, ठीक है, otherwise it will hamper the engine performance and well. Yeah. So moving on to one more don'ts and that the team shouldn't do, and teams face a lot of issues during the event, right? Regarding the throttle cable, right? So there is in the rule book that the throttle cable can have between like 15 degrees on the both sides. Okay, when you see from the top. Okay, so this you can ensure this during your vehicle packaging stage or during your design stages only. So this is once this is done, you will see that there is a lot of wear also, okay, because as I stated earlier, the type of system that we use, most of the teams use in India are not that great in terms of tightening sequences. Okay, so for this you can use such kind of cables that are available, that are used mostly in the three-wheelers, three-wheelers, or also in the two-wheelers. Okay. So just ensure that such kind of broken ends are not there. The thing that I mentioned earlier. So such kind of broken ends normally occur at both ends, the engine end as well as the throttle pedal side. So this can be prevented easily using the barrel nut that I showed earlier at the engine side. And if you use such kind of throttle cables, this issue also won't happen at the throttle pedal side. Okay, and the use of this is basically the driver will have proper sense of how his vehicle is going to perform when he gives certain amount of throttle input. Right? If you, for example, if such kind of thing happens that एक दिन आपने if you're driving a scooter and you give 30% 30-degree का input and you get certain speed, and other day you give 30% का input and you get different kind of speed, right? So it is very confusing for the driver, right? So we don't want such kind of situations to happen. So that's why ensuring proper condition of throttle gear is very necessary. Can you go to the next slide? Yeah. So, any questions?
Hello, sir. Sir, can you give some insights about switchable mechanism to be fully?
So it depends on which type of propeller, which type of system you are using for your propeller shaft. Okay, so it can be either like propeller shaft thing, right, with UV joints and this kind of things, or it might be your chain system, like chain drive. So, but anyways, you need some kind of a clutch, a jaw coupling basically. So normally it is also called as jaw clutch, right? So on that you also have this grooves basically for the shifting curve. Sorry, for the shift fork, not the shifting curve, the shift fork, right? So you need to work on some actuating system basically, which will ensure linear translation of that fork. Okay, so you can search on regarding dog clutch on the or jaw coupling, and on how to design that is easily available information like the engineering books, mechanical engineering books. Okay, yeah. So yes, is that clear or you want any more?
So one question you asked, like how to calculate fuel rate from air flow rate. Answer to that is air flow rate divided by the target air fuel ratio. Is it correct?
Yeah. So basically both of them are ratio only. So yeah. Any other questions regarding any other question? Guys, everyone wants to see the match, right? So jaldi close kar. Come on.
Sir, my 14.5 kg.
उसके लिए कनेक्ट करते हैं दोनों. You can come over here. Q&A is over. Anyways, yeah. Any other questions? Basically. Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you, sir, for the wonderful session. Now I request